Alright, yeah, welcome back to some more Magic Arena, and today is an interesting day because we get to play the format we barely play. That's going to be some standard. We're going to be playing around with a list by Huey Jensen. He played it a couple of weeks ago. I've only just really managed to grab the wildcards for this one. As you can maybe tell, I am all out, so that's good. Yeah. Green White Mavinda, let's talk about it. So Mavinda Student's Advocate is the build-around card in this list. It's not a requirement to draw this card, which is really nice for the deck. You know, sometimes if you have a build-around that's so required, you end up building a really flimsy and fragile list. Not so much in this case. We're kind of all about just casting spells as much as humanly possible. And Mavinda helps with that. So it's a 3-mana 2/3 with flying, and you can pay 0, and you can cast a target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard this turn. If that spell doesn't target a creature you control, it costs 8 more to cast this way, and if a spell would be put into your graveyard, exile it instead, and you can only do this once each turn, but that does mean we can do it on our opponent's turn as well, so 2 spells per turn cycle, as it were. So this deck plays pretty much like you would expect a feather deck to work. We're going to be targeting our spells, and then once they're in the graveyard, Mavinda allows us to retarget them, buy them back, as it were. So the other spells, or the other creatures, sorry, that we're going to be playing around with that are going to really like to cast lots of spells are all of these 3 here. We've got Clarion Spirit, a 2-mana 2/2. Whenever you cast your second spell, you make a 1/1 spirit creature with flying. This allows us to go wide. We got a Dragon's Guard Elite, a 2-mana 2/2 with Magecraft. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, you put a counter on Dragon's Guard Elite. This allows us to go big. And then Leonin Light Scribe, a 2-mana 2/2. Whenever you cast and copy an instant or sorcery spell, creatures you control get +1/+1 until the end of the turn. So this allows us to go big and wide. So all of these in combination really do benefit lots and lots of instants and sorceries being cast at the same time. So let's talk about what they're going to be. We've got lots of cards that draw as a card. So if you ever played with Feather, you'd know that the card advantage in that deck is kind of insane once Feather is around and stays around. So Defiant Strike is staple in that particular list and in ours as well. 1 mana, target creature gets +1/+0 until the end of the turn and draw a card. So it's not really insane on its own, but when you consider the cards that are going to be in play when we're casting it, then it becomes a little bit more impressive. Fighters 1 is a indestructible protection spell, so we can target a human and a non-human, and each of them gets +1/+1 and indestructible until the end of the turn. We only have 1 human in the list, which is Dragon's Guard Elite, so not often are we going to be casting both sides of this, but the option is always there, and it's nice to have as a +2/+2 kind of ability. Crash Through, new from Strixhaven, gives a creature trample until the end of the turn and redraws, so mostly it's going to be just here for the redraw, for the card advantage, as we said with Mavinda, and obviously to trigger 2 spells a turn, hopefully. But it is very useful for things like Dragon's Guard Elite, which allows us to turn our big thing into a big trampling thing, which is lovely. And finally, we've got Snakeskin Veil, +1/+1, and gives hexproof until the end of the turn. So, like Feather before it, which had God's Willing to give protection, this one allows us to get hexproof and also leaves a counter on it as well. So it's kind of like a really souped up rogues thing. You know, that one. There's one that gives +1/+1 and hexproof. This one gives a counter and hexproof, so it's strictly better, basically. We do have Ram Through as our form of removal, though most of the time we're going to be kind of the aggro tempo list. So Ram Through is only going to really be here for cards that will get out of hand if we leave them be. So it's really nice. We can also do kind of tall removal with this, because obviously the Light Scribe's around, giving us +1/+1, and then we obviously have the Dragon's Guard Elite as well, getting the counters every turn. So Ram Through can hit some pretty big creatures, which, you know, is deceptively awesome in this deck. Finally, Sajiri's Shelter is a land and a protection spell, so if we need it, we can put it into our mana base. Our mana base is 22 lands with 4 tap lands, so a really reasonable amount of lands in this deck. Temple of Plenty, because we don't really play anything on turn 1, allows us to set up our turn 2 and turn 3 kind of plays, which is really important. A lot of the time you want to hold open your elites and your light scribes and things like that until turn 3, so that you can play one of these snakeskin veils or a fighter's one. Something to protect it and fizzle your opponent's spells, for example, is really nice. So hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. If you do, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. If you do want to see more standard, let me know down below. And other than that, let's get to it. This video is brought to you by the generous support of our wonderful patrons and channel members that you see here. If you'd like to support the channel and get access to cool content like sneak peeks, bonus videos, polls on future content, or access to a personal deck critique from myself every month, then hit the join button down below, or check out the Patreon link in the description. With all that said, let's get into the gameplay. Okay, then. We're in. We've got a 2-lander with double Clarion Spirit, Protection, and a Defiant Strike. I'm going to keep this one. We're probably going to scry for a land so we can cast Mavinda and have Spirit plus Strike or Veil here. I think that's going to be quite a nice hand, honestly. Might find ourselves topping a cantrip as well, though, because it's always nice to have them cycling through your hand into your graveyard to be cast with Mavinda later, but no need because we have the forest, which is cool. Castle Embereth. So if we play Spirit, they will almost certainly kill this with like a Stomp or something like that, so do we actually want to hold it? I don't know, with a spare Spirit, I do need to get something on the board. And this is their turn to do it, so if they want to get like greedy with like a Robber of the Rich or something, then it's punishable by death. Interesting that they led with Embereth as well. Greed! I love it when my opponent is greedy. Alright, well, that's punishable. So now we got Clarion Spirit with Snakeskin Veil Protection. We could Veil there to get 2 spirits. I'm not sure that's necessarily what you want to do. I think if our opponent stomps our Spirit here, we Snakeskin Veil and we punish the pre-combat stomp and we fizzle the whole Bone Crusher as well. So honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if there was a Shane Scoop in our opponent's future there, but they managed to dodge the shame. We're gonna, like, super turbo out some stuff here, though. Let's go with the Clarion Spirit. We're pushing through that damage anyway. We're not trading a Spirit for no reason. So get him for 4, and I think this game's over now. I think that's all it takes. I think that's literally it. The shame from our opponent. The shame. Yeah, I mean, they took a garbage mana hand as well. It's hard to see a mono-red deck do that badly with their mana. It's not as if, you know, they're struggling to find mountains, but apparently they are. Double Embereth Faceless Haven. Good stuff. So yeah, they untap. They probably kill, like, a Spirit or a Mavinda. Probably not a Mavinda, because I'm assuming with the Faceless Haven, that means their main creature removal spell is Frostbite, and it only deals 2 damage from a mountain being played there, so they have to kind of 2-for-1 themselves on Mavinda. If they don't do that, then we have Protection and a Defiant Strike, which means 2 spells to trigger Clarion Spirit again. We can fight their things and clear the way, and yeah, the beatdown's just unstoppable at this point, so pretty good. Nice showing for the deck, I guess. Alrighty then, we're in on the draw against Boreon. It's probably a bad matchup. I'm under the impression that Sultai Yorion is a bad matchup. But we'll have to see. I mean, this is a pretty good starting hand anyway. We're going to lead off with the Forest, because we might actually just charge through. Is it the Esper list? Esper Doom, is it? I don't really know. All I know is standard is simply Yorion lists. And not much else most of the time. We'll go with the Clarion Spirit. Set up a go wide strategy, I suppose. Glass Casket. Sure. Draw the Rubin Sajiri Shelter. We're putting this on green. And we're going with Dragon's Guard Elite. I guess they're only going to be doing destroy stuff, so we want to actually have Crash Through open. That's kind of just a redraw. I think that's a safe assumption. Like, yeah, I mean, if they're going to hit us with anything, it's like Doom Foretold at this point, right? Or just hard removal spells. So I'm going to give their card a bit of trample. Reason being is it doesn't fizzle if my opponent kills it in response. And then we play another Elite. We're probably sufficiently behind now where we can't win, but who knows? I mean, if this is Doom Foretold, then we just leave. If it isn't, then we've got at least a little bit of things on the to-do list. Interesting. Right, so yeah, we let this go. We were hoping to draw something good, but that's asking for a lot today, apparently. Yep, bottom the garbage. I'm just gonna swing in, see if they wanna do some trading. I'm just doing it. Send it. All in. Alright. We're not protected against Doomscar, which is probably what they have here, and then, you know, we just scoop anyway, because we weren't supposed to win. Dream Trawler. Fascinating. Alright, well, let's get in. They let it go. It's 6 to double the counters, so it's a complete tap out, unfortunately. We are going to attempt to ram through the Dream Trawler to keep it tapped down. I might just do that now, so they take one of those 2 cards. Less chance of them drawing into an answer and more chance of them just tapping and not drawing here. Yep, now they get their draw for the turn. Orion to hand. We get a Mavinda. Mavinda is super good. So we're going to go with Charge Through on Dragon's Guard Elite, which allows me to then ram through on their upkeep. Another Charge Through. I don't think it's worth the risk of missing a land here. Omen of the Sun. Well, we have Trample, so the block doesn't really matter too much. The life gain, a little less so, of course. I guess it's because they want to get Yorion into play. So this last card has to be like interaction, otherwise I just upkeep, ram through, send it again. They discard this unknown probably because they want to have Yorion, Glass Casket, Omen. Oh, they discard the Orion. Interesting. Oh, sorry, Boreon. Got to use his correct name. Elspeth's Nightmare. Okay. Oh, come on! Really? Wow. Talk about good running. Well, I might as well just try to redraw. Thanks, great, awesome. Charge through. Perfect timing. Taps down all my white. Whatever. Oh, come on, that's ridiculous. Elspeth's Nightmare eats my graveyard. Skyclave Apparition eats my win con. Glass Casket off the top eats my only out. What smooth running. It's hard not to get salty over this absolute god tier top deck. Oh, right. Fantastic. A forest, just what I needed. Tasty mana flood. Tasty salt. Yeah, I mean, what's the point? Let's go to the next game. Oh my, a Gigantholist. So not Boreon. Seems to be the only thing anyone plays in Standard these days, so I think I'd be taking a break from Standard for a little while after the end of this video. Because it's kinda not that interesting to face the same deck over and over again, but y'all knew that anyway. Alright, we're going to pop that to the bottom, and then we're going to play against this lovely little list, which is a white something deck. White-green. Alseed of Life's Bounty, okay. So if I played Clarion Spirit and it doesn't die to Skyclave Apparition, then my next turn is Dragon's Guard Elite plus nothing, because my mana's kind of done in. Ugh. I think we still play Clarion Spirit, though, because I think this might be a list where Toski's a concern, so having an excessive amount of 1/1s to go wide and also block all their nonsense seems reasonable. 1/1s to block Hallerblade, also pretty reasonable. So now we can't really afford to play anything that drops our Snakeskin Veils. Because our board state is just too good. Although, if we went Leon and Light Scribe and then charge through... I guess I could charge through, see if I draw a land. If I draw a land... Not really what I had in mind, but... You know what? If our opponent has Apparition here, that's totally fine, because we get to keep Light Scribe or Spirit. So, keeping one or the other is just totally fine here, I think. Rune of Might. Well, it's pretty good. No attacks. Really? Huh. I did not see that coming. I'll be quite honest. Another Snakeskin Veil. I think I'll pass on the excessive amounts of a single card I did not need. Yeah, I mean, I think we just kind of set up for the god tier draw of all time. Which is cantrip into cantrip into cantrip. We hope that Light Scribe and Dragon's Guard Elites really kind of get us there. We're kind of apparition-proof because we've got that many things currently in play that we don't care too much. I think this actually is an actual green-white auras list. Possibly with the Rune of Might combo and the Dwarf thingamajig, whose name escapes me. Alright, let's stick this on green. We are all attacking here, I think. Because this hand is good enough that we can start setting our opponent into heavy pressure position. What say you, opponent? Gonna block the Dragon's Guard Elite. Alright, well, I'm going to start by killing the Setessan champion. So we're dealing 8 so far. This would be 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Not quite enough. But we do still want to do one of these spells enough to stay in the game. Let's put it on the spirit here, I think. So now they have to discard, otherwise they lose their Hallowed Blade. I'm going the token mostly because Skyclave Apparition can't hit it. We might be closing out with a small amount of damage later down the line anyway. So I just want to diversify my threats. Another Hallowed Blade into the graveyard. Opponent's on 7. They should be dead next turn. They need like an actual board wipe, which is the only thing I can't protect myself from here. Otherwise, between Light Scribe and my spirits, I think we've got this game in the bag. Redraw. No, that's never a good sign. We've got the shelter to protect from literally anything they play here, so they want to probably get in their attacks before they die kind of moves, but not this time, it seems. All right, well, Veil here. Shelter. Probably should shelter something that's not the spirits, because, you know, we're making a lethal threat in the air and we don't want to make it more lethal. Good game. Or more of a target that our opponent wants to remove. Not that I think they could anyway, I don't think there's a single white card that saves them there, but yeah, pretty good, I suppose. Next game. Alrighty then, we've got a Clarion Spirit. We have the means in which to protect it, so that's what we're going to do. I don't know if this is a good hand. It's kind of brittle to a single removal spell, but that's why we'll play Spirit on 3, because if we play it on 3, our opponent will hold up and removal. We'll play it, they'll try to remove it, we'll protect it, we'll trigger the Spirit. That's my thinking, at least. We can charge through to redraw. I guess we might as well. This is always going to go on green anyway, so yeah, let's do it. Okay. Opponent's on a absolute mission here. Enjoy that trample. They're looking at it going, why? Why would you do such a brave thing? Oh. Snakeskian Veil, eh? Well, to be honest, we're throwing out the Light Scribe. We're doing it because I need my opponent to actually do something with their turn. Ugh. Really? Wow, I was not expecting that. Of all the moves they were going to make, that was not the one I expected to see. I'm just going to go Clarion Spirit. So if I Veil here, I get a Spirit token. Otherwise, I Veil on their turn. We get a trigger from the Light Scribe. They probably remove in response. And Ember Cleave me at the same time. Yeah, I mean... I think I just have to pass here and... hope the Snakeskin Veil kind of gets me there, I suppose. Gotta keep in mind, Robber of the Rich will activate a Snakeskin Veil as well. Playing the Veil pre-combat doesn't stop Robber of the Rich. No, my Mavinda! Oh God, you're taking my good cards. I hate it. Thanks. Alright. Block here, block here. Opponent Veils. I Veil. Not sure that really worked out the way that they were hoping it would, but... we take those. Alright, so here I'm going to ram through Anax. Potentially Defiant Striking as well. I'm at 9, so I do have to protect myself. But I think with a Spirit Token, that's protection enough, right? As well as getting rid of Anax. So, ram through. Give him a token. We could go with Dragon's Guard Elite. That also triggers Clarion Spirit and gets an extra body on board. Yeah, I guess so. Let's try not to die, because there's a world where I actually get to swing back at them for lethal anyway, with a board state that looks like this. Oh. Well, that's just disgusting. So this is 6. I think that's all we do. Because I think what I have to do here is I just have to win. Simply put. Let's go Dragon's Guard Elite. Fight as 1. 4, 5, 6, 7. So I get 1 token to hold back with. I can +1, +1. I'm just trying to figure out whether or not I win if they don't block. Uh, 7 +5, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I think I win if they don't block. And I'm dead anyway, right? So... well, that works out. Human and non-human, please. Play to your outs, kids. Play to your outs. You're dead. Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we were facing a losing battle by not attacking there. Our only out was that they didn't block. We do have this 1 blocker here, so like assuming they block, we can kill Torbrand, kill Robber. Then we have a chump blocker for this token, and then this plus this is only 2 damage. So it's a bit of a weird one. Assuming that they only blocked a single one, they would actually be alive here. Or single one, I guess, is Robber on Dragon's Guard Elite. They would have been totally fine and been able to swing back, but they didn't play to their out, which was not losing, I guess. So yeah, I'll take that. Pretty good. Next game. Alrighty then, we go first. We've got two drops and decent enough mana. We can even go Temple of Plenty on turn 1, so totally fine with this. It's matchup dependent as to whether or not we should go Spirit or Dragon's Guard Elite first. Spirit obviously would be the one I would go for first, I think, because then I could go Elite plus Defiant Strike, trigger the Spirit. I think 1/1s are a little bit more useful than a larger Elite that can die to a Bloodchief's Thirst, for example. So, something to consider anyway. No, we're going to bottom that. We've got 3 lands. That's honestly our top-end mana, so we'll bottom lands and we'll just hope to naturally draw them. Black-white. So this makes me want to actually go Dragon's Guard Elite first. Because I think the Clarion Spirit will be better against an Orzhov list. And if they've not got Heartless Act for this turn, we can use the Elite to protect from it as well. Interesting. Protection spell would be nice. They are making lots and lots of pests. Cool, cool. Alright, so a pest deck. I'm just going to play an Elite here again. And we'll go green for the charge through. Almost said crash through. Same difference. And we're just going to do it. I've heard things about this deck. I actually don't really know what it does most of the time, except for make pests and sacrifice them. Which I guess that is exactly what it does. So we have Heartless Act Protection, assuming that's a card that they're running. They got a Pest Summoning, so they can make some 1/1s, and they are annoying, for sure. Village Rites. Okay. Still on black-white? Yeah. Oh. Mardu. Leonin Light Scribe. That's a card. I think I'm just going to go with the Clarion Spirit here, though. Swing in. Feel like they block here. Yeah. I'll just let it happen. Now, are they the deck that plays sweepers? They're not exactly a list that cares about their creatures dying, because that's kind of like the point of some of them. But I also don't see them running extinction events, so let's go with the Light Scribe here to trigger the Clarion Spirit. Let's go as wide as possible so their pests aren't going to be a problem. And honestly, if we set up Light Scribe here, we could have lethal next turn. So we already have 11 points just on board without triggers. And triggers we have plenty of. Another Light Scribe. Yeah, that's just GG right there. Oh, God. Do we even dare do the math on that? So, they block here. We have a Light Scribe, and then we Sajiri Shelter, or we Defiant Strike, actually, to try and get another cantrip, essentially. So, every time we cast a spell, we get +2/+2. So, Dragon's Guard Elite is 5, plus the extra, so it's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 with the Defiant Strike. So it's exactly enough. And then they're at 0 as the Bastion of Remembrance triggers. So that means they are dead on the stack. Interesting. Yeah, cool. Nice game. Alrighty, opponent goes first. Our hand is fine. Would have preferred this to be a Snakeskin Veil, I guess, but there's plenty of time to find that. Temple on turn 1's always nice. Hey, look at that. Alright, so it is a white deck. I'm going to take an extra 2-drop here, I think. Mavinda's about the only thing I would really take over that. Alright, so our opponent has a Spirit of their own. Will they have Skyclave Apparition next turn? I'm gonna guess the answer is no. And if the answer is no, Spirit, I think, is the play. Second Spirit. So I want a Ram Through. Because I don't know if I can punish an excessive amount of 1-drops here. Oh my god, I'm so good at the game today. Jeez. Alright, yeah, I mean, I think I ram through one of the spirits. And then I get in for 2. They probably don't block. And I Defiant Strike to get the extra damage in and also make a spirit. I don't think I'm concerned about them going land Skyclave Apparition. Clever Lumomancer. That could also be a problem. Yeah, that has to be respected. Environmental Sciences. I'll take 3 here. Charge through. Tap land. Let's go with Dragon's Guard Elite. And then I probably want to play a card here. But I might want the charge through for the Dragon's Guard Elite next turn to get through their 1/1s. So I think I'm just going to Snakeskin Veil my Clarion Spirit, I guess. I'm not sure it matters too much. Maybe it should be the Spirit. So we're not trading spirits. I'm not sure on that one. Yeah, I probably do want to... I probably want to have a 2/2 spirit. Alright, well, let's see if they got the double spell, because they do have the 2-drop to get a land into, hopefully, not a 1-mana spell here. Here's hoping we dodge a bullet a little bit here. Because this Light Scribe plus Charge Through on Dragon's Guard Elite is going to be pretty nice. Fairy Guide Mother, that's their second spirit, okay. Or their second spell, should I say. We're going to take this, because our swing back is much worse for them. So we go Light Scribe. Charge through the Dragon's Guard Elite. Another Dragon's Guard Elite. Well, it didn't really matter. But I don't know if we actually forced blocks there. And if we didn't force blocks, I don't know if our opponent should be scooping. So they've got 5 points here. They never block this. They chump if they really want to. Yeah, I mean, I'm not really presenting that much damage, all things considered, but I guess their hand might not be that good. So they certainly have the explosive potential to 13 me. If they've got their own Leonin Light Scribe, for example, they can go wide in the same way. Or even Show of Confidence, I think it's called. The 2 mana that copies is absolutely absurd with Lumamancer. So yeah, I don't know. Don't know about that scoop there, but I'm happy they did, so next game. Okie dokie, we have a 2-lander technically, and we're not going to be playing anything on turn 1, so Sajira's Shelter can come down on turn 1, then we redraw with Charge Through probably, or drop down. Either of these two, depending on the matchup, I guess. I think this hand's keepable. It's still got a little bit of risk associated with it though, but I think we can play through that risk. Oh, sure, the Fallen. Okay. So yeah, Boros list. I imagine there's lots of stomping going on here. So we could go with Temple, planning on going Light Scribe with Crash Through open to protect against Stomp. Slow, but I think that's the way we're going to do it. 4th land. We do eventually want that because we want Mavinda plus tap plus protection spell most of the time, so I think I'll take that. I'm not sure. Maybe I should bottom that for something like Fighters 1 potential. Because if I had Fighters 1, then I could also protect through that, or even Snakeskin Veil, because that would fizzle the Stomp. It's hard to say, really. Alright. So there's a Light Scribe. We can use that to block the Usher. We can also charge through our opponent's creature. Oh, there were Nota. I see. So we're dead. I get it. Ooh, a real fizzle. Alright. These are humans. Oh, cool. Good to know. So we block here, we charge through, kill our only non-human. Dragon's Guard Elite. We go to 9. Yeah, this might be actually really good. You're a human as well, right? Yes. Okay, so we go Clarion Spirit, Clarion Spirit. Swing for 2. We can chump, trade. Skyclave Apparition, probably the Light Scribe. Yeah. We do want to ram through the Skyclave Apparition so that they don't have a non-human. So let's go Dragon's Guard Elite here for our first spell. Ram through for our second. Again, they could have a Stomp here. If they had a Stomp, I would like a 3/3 to block their Apparition, I guess. So let's do this. Yeah. I don't expect them to have pump spells or anything like that, so let's get in for 1. And to close out this game eventually. A Light Scribe would be kind of awesome. Ooh, that's... It's actually fine. Because they can't gain protection from white, green, and blue simultaneously, so I should always have a blocker as long as I play my cards right. And I think this is playing my cards right here. Mavinda grabs a Ram Through. Ram Through, what do you want to hit? Do you want to hit the Blade Historian, who is a human? Or do you want to hit the Wind Nota? You want to hit the Wind Nota here. Because Blade Historian isn't a problem. I believe that's the plan. Then we can play Pathway on green. That allows me to play Charge Through on my opponent's turn. Swing. Never swing in with the blue creature. So 2... Yeah, I don't think I get in with the Dragon's Guard Elite just yet. Another Winota, so they get one Winota trigger off the Alseed, but they have to run it straight into my creatures. I don't know what Winota hits here that really makes this a problem. It hits absolutely nothing, as it turns out. So we win the game now. Because, you know, we're very good at Magic the Gathering. Case in point. Alright, well, block. That's pretty good. That is a Clarion Spirit trigger, so we're going to make Dragon's Guard Elite trampling. Fighters 1, both of these, you and you, I guess. Good game. Currently an 8/8 with trample, then we'll crash through for our 1 Mavinda turn, which gives us another +1/+1 on the Dragon's Guard Elite, so that's 9 coming through. And we'll get a redraw as well, which I don't know if we played our land drop yet, so we could set that up potentially to chain again. It's 6 mana to activate the Dragon's Guard Elite, so that's not likely to happen, but yeah, a couple too many misses on their part, and pretty decent draw from us, honestly, that won us that game. So yeah, that's going to do it for today's video anyway, guys. If you have enjoyed, I would really appreciate if you do hit that like button and subscribe for more content like this in the future. Let me know if you do enjoy Standard a fair bit, because it's a format that's a little hard to come back to sometimes with all the Orions around, but if you guys are sufficiently interested in Standard, then I'm still happy to do like the once a week Standard video. I do have a couple of cool ideas that, you know, don't usually beat the meta decks, but they're fun anyway. So let me know down below anyway, and without further ado, gonna end it off here. Take care, guys, and have a wonderful night.